Have we ever truly been alone? It is a question that has echoed through the halls of human history. We look up at the night sky, a vast and endless ocean of glittering stars, and we wonder, are there others out there looking back at us? And if they are, have they already visited? Some stories, whispered in hushed tones and shared in the dark corners of the internet, suggest they have. They speak of a moment, a critical juncture in our timeline, when humanity came face to face with beings from another world. They claim that our leaders, sworn to protect us, made a choice. A secret choice. A cosmic bargain. Did the United States government, in the shadow of the Cold War, sign a treaty not with another nation but with an alien civilization? This is not a tale from a science fiction novel. It is a persistent, powerful myth that has captivated minds for decades. The story goes that President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a decorated general and a man of immense authority, met secretly with extraterrestrials. This wasn't just a brief encounter. This was a diplomatic summit of galactic proportions. The result, they say, was a formal agreement, a treaty, an accord that would shape the destiny of our planet in ways we can barely comprehend. The legend of the Greada Treaty is as specific as it is sensational. The story begins in the year 1954. The world was a tense place locked in the icy grip of the Cold War. But, according to the tale, the greatest threat was not from Moscow. It was from the stars. Believers claim that on the night of February 20th, 1954, President Eisenhower disappeared. He was officially on vacation in Palm Springs, California. The official story from the White House was that the president had chipped a tooth and was rushed to a local dentist for an emergency procedure. But proponents of the treaty theory say this was a cover story, a clever lie to mask an event of unprecedented importance. They believe he was secretly flown to Holloman Air Force Base or perhaps Edwards Air Force Base. There, under the vast desert sky, the story alleges that President Eisenhower met with representatives of an alien race. These beings were not the benevolent, wise visitors we often see in movies. They were described as a species known as the Greys-tall, gray-skinned beings with large, dark, inscrutable eyes. The purpose of this clandestine meeting was negotiation. The Greys, the story goes, offered humanity a gift of unimaginable value, advanced technology. As we step away from the shadows of the myth, we enter the bright, often less exciting light of documented reality. The foundation of the Greada Treaty story rests on that single night in February 1954. It is true that President Eisenhower was in Palm Springs. It is also true that he made an unscheduled late-night trip. The press, who followed the president everywhere, were suddenly left without their subject. Rumors swirled. Was he ill? Had he died? The next morning at a church service, White House Press Secretary James Hagerty addressed the speculation. He confirmed that the president had indeed lost a cap on a tooth while eating fried chicken the night before. He was taken to a local dentist, Dr. Francis A. Purcell, who performed the emergency fix. This is the official account, supported by historical records and witnesses. The dentist's family has, for decades, confirmed the story. Records from the time show a fairly routine, if inconvenient, presidential dental emergency. There are no gaps in the official timeline that would allow for a secret flight to a remote Air Force base, a lengthy meeting with extraterrestrials, and a return flight, all under the cover of darkness. The logistics alone make the scenario incredibly difficult to believe. The story of the dental visit, while mundane, fits the known facts and the timeline of events perfectly. It is a simple, human explanation for a brief, unexplained absence. For those who believe in the Greada Treaty, the lack of official evidence is not a weakness. It is proof of the conspiracy's success. They argue an agreement of this magnitude would be the most closely guarded secret in human history. Of course, there are no public documents. Of course, the government denies it. To admit such a pact would cause global panic, shatter religious and social structures, and undermine the authority of every government on Earth. The cover story of a dental visit is seen as laughably simple, a hastily concocted alibi to placate a curious press and unsuspecting public. Believers point to rapid technological advancements after 1954 as circumstantial evidence. Fiber optics, microchips, lasers, stealth technology. They see alien tech in the circuit boards of our computers and in the design of our most advanced aircraft. The leap from prop planes to stealth bombers in a few decades feels like proof of help. Every new secret military marvel is seen as a dividend from the Greada Agreement. Alien abduction stories became a cultural phenomenon in the latter 20th century. To believers, these are not isolated delusions. They are the fulfillment of the treaty's most terrible clause. Each story of a person taken from their bed, subjected to medical examinations by strange beings, and returned with missing time is another data point. When historians and scientists approach the Greada Treaty legend, they bring a toolkit of evidence, reason, and peer review. From a historical perspective, the story simply does not hold up to scrutiny. As mentioned, the official record of President Eisenhower's schedule on the night in question is detailed and accounted for. There are no missing hours. Furthermore, the character of Eisenhower himself makes him an unlikely candidate for such a pact. He was a man deeply concerned with process, law, and constitutional limits of his power. In his famous farewell address, he warned the nation about the dangers of the military-industrial complex. It seems contradictory that a man so wary of secret power would unilaterally enter into such a monumental secret agreement. From a scientific standpoint, the claims are even more tenuous. The idea that we received alien technology requires extraordinary evidence, and none has been presented. The technological advancements of the 20th century have a clear and documented developmental path. Microchip, transistor. Stealth technology was the result of decades of research into radar-absorbent materials, geometric design, and physics principles. Each of these leaps can be traced back through a chain of human innovation: papers, patents, and experiments. To attribute them to aliens is to dismiss the incredible work of thousands of human scientists and engineers without providing a shred of proof for the alternative. The scientific community also offers alternative explanations: misidentified aircraft, weather balloons, atmospheric phenomena, satellites, and human psychology. Psychologists find correlations with sleep paralysis and vivid hallucinations. Painful, real experiences, but not evidence of a presidential treaty. The burden of proof lies with those making the extraordinary claim, and it has never been met. A myth as powerful as the Greada Treaty does not spring from nowhere. It's built and spread by specific individuals, storytellers who claim to have inside knowledge. One of the earliest and most influential figures in this narrative was William Bill Cooper, a former Naval Intelligence Briefing team member. In the late 1980s, Cooper released a torrent of documents and lectures claiming to expose a massive government cover-up. He was one of the first to popularize the specific details of the Eisenhower meeting, the deal with the Greys, the trade of humans for technology. Another key figure is John Lear, son of the inventor of the Learjet. As an experienced pilot with aviation and intelligence connections, Lear's claims carried weight. He expanded the narrative with secret underground bases like Dulce. Phil Schneider claimed dramatic incidents and injuries that electrified believers. These men and others are the architects of the Greada Treaty myth. They forged vague rumors into a coherent, terrifying narrative. Their claims have been heavily disputed and debunked by investigators and journalists. Many so-called facts were fabricated or misinterpreted, yet their stories resonated. They gave answers to people who felt powerless and distrustful. When we search for hard physical evidence of the Greada Treaty, the trail runs cold almost immediately. In our modern world, an event of this scale would leave a massive footprint. There would be memos, transportation logs, security details, communication records. For a presidential trip, even a secret one, the paper trail would be extensive. Yet, for the alleged meeting at Holloman or Edwards Air Force Base, there is nothing. Not a single officially verified document has ever surfaced that corroborates the story. The documents presented by figures like Bill Cooper have been widely dismissed as forgeries or misinterpretations. The absence of this primary evidence is the single biggest obstacle for the theory. What about physical artifacts? If we received alien technology, where is it? Believers point to things like stealth aircraft as the fruits of this exchange, but aeronautical engineers can trace the lineage of these designs back through decades of conventional research. There are no mysterious materials, no impossible power sources, no alien alloys that have been presented for independent scientific analysis. Claims of fragments were never subjected to rigorous, peer-reviewed study. In science, a claim is only as good as the physical evidence that supports it. The enduring appeal of the Greada Treaty story has less to do with aliens and more to do with us. It speaks to a deep-seated human need to find meaning and order in a world that often feels chaotic and random. A grand conspiracy, even a terrifying one, can be strangely comforting. It suggests that someone, somewhere, is in control. The idea that the world's major events are not the result of incompetence, chance, or complex socioeconomic forces, but are instead part of a secret plan, provides a simple explanation for a complicated reality. It's easier to blame a secret deal with aliens for our problems than to confront the messy, complicated truth of human fallibility. These stories also tap directly into our relationship with authority. History has shown real instances of deception. Watergate, Iran-Contra, that plant a seed of doubt. If they lied about that, people ask, what else could they be hiding? The Greada story becomes a powerful metaphor for this sense of betrayal. Furthermore, the idea of alien contact fulfills a profound, almost spiritual longing. It addresses the ancient question, are we alone? In a secularizing world, belief in powerful, technologically advanced aliens can function as a kind of modern-day mythology. These stories are our new epics. They provide wonder, mystery, and connection to something larger than ourselves. Ultimately, they reflect our greatest hopes and our deepest fears. So we find ourselves at the end of our journey, standing at a crossroads between two worlds. In one world, there is the Greada Treaty, a tale of secret meetings, cosmic bargains, a hidden history that shapes our own. Shadows, whispers, a truth so profound it must be kept secret at all costs. This narrative offers a grand unified theory for many mysteries: UFOs, rapid technological progress. It ignites the imagination and validates mistrust of the official narrative. But in the other world there is the documented historical account, evidence, reason, and peer review. Here, the story of February 20th, 1954, is about a simple dental emergency. Technological advancements are the product of human ingenuity and hard work. Unexplained phenomena have logical explanations based in science. This world is governed by the principle that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. And for the Greada Treaty, that evidence is nowhere to be found. It asks us to trust the process of discovery, not the allure of a secret. The choice of which world to inhabit is a personal one. Is it possible that a secret so vast could be kept for so long? History shows secrets are hard to maintain, yet the universe is vast and our knowledge finite. The absence of evidence is not necessarily evidence of absence. This leaves a sliver of possibility, a tiny crack in the door of certainty. For some, that sliver is all the room they need to believe. In the end, whether the Greada Treaty is myth or fact, its true value may lie in the questions it forces us to ask. Like, subscribe, share, and support the Greatness 19 channel and click in the description box below for products and services.